Hey, how's it going? I'm Kit James.
Austin Davis.
We're with NECKROOTS. We got another podcast, another episode coming to you live. This one's about finding fulfillment.
Finding fulfillment, Kit. I like this topic here. I like all of our topics, but the first thing that comes to mind with this is there's all kinds of aspects in our life that we can find fulfillment with, right? It's not just one thing. We got relationships, we've got work, we've got personal goals and ambitions, right? We've got all these things that could bring us fulfillment.
Yeah.
But I think one important aspect of this to touch on, probably to start with, is to draw some lines here around fulfillment. And I think a lot of times we as individuals get confused between happiness and fulfillment. And the truth is they are not the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Happiness is, joy or feeling, just this sense of, gratitude, whatever it is, this joy, happiness. You can't define happiness by saying happiness, but
right.
We know what happiness is, and it's short term, right?
Yeah.
We can be happy, we can be sad. It's just a feeling, right? Fulfillment isn't a feeling. It's not an emotion, right? Fulfillment is not an emotion. Fulfillment underlies our emotions, right?
Yeah.
And even though you may be sad or you may be depressed, Neck Nation, it's still possible to be or feel fulfilled in what you're doing, right? So we just want to go through a number of things today. I know we've got some things written down and some things that we've thought about as far as how to find this fulfillment in your life.
Yeah, and I think that's going to change too. It's a moving target, right? Because fulfillment is interesting, and I think for me anyway, it starts with purpose, right? That's kind of the number one thing that comes to mind. And when I was younger, all these self-help guys that would talk, they'd say, find your passion. If you go and do your passion for a living, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Find a hobby that you enjoy or whatever, right? And I think that's dope.
Yeah.
That's awesome because, if I could just go out and fish and drive a tractor, which I'm running on 48 hours no sleep because that's what I've been doing.
Driving the tractors, man.
And thinking about elevations and break points and changes, and then all of a sudden you're not sleeping, right?
Yep, there you go.
You just go out in the tractor and start driving when it's dark and the elevations don't look the same. But that's my happy place. Nobody's there bothering me.
Yeah.
I'm throwing dirt with a big machine, and when you turn around, right on your turntable or zip your tracks around, you'd have a look at what you just got done or the field you just harvested or whatever it is. There's instant gratification because, it was a long, hard day and you can see the efforts and the results of that day, right? Grinding it out.
Yep.
So I really look at passion and purpose, and it's like passion almost falls into that something you enjoy doing, that hobby category, where purpose, if you don't know what your purpose is, and I had to do this, write it down.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Like, what is my purpose? Who relies on me? What is important? What am I here to do? And if you don't know, figure it out.
Yeah.
Right?
What are your values, right? And then whatever you choose to do, right? You talk about, find something that you're passionate about. You never work a day in your life. We've all heard it. But find something that aligns with your values, that aligns with your purpose, right?
And who you are. And if you don't know, that's okay, right?
Yeah.
And people say, well, I got to find a purpose. Well, don't look too hard. Create it.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't have one, create one.
Yeah. That's insightful for me because I run around all the time trying to figure out what my purpose is. So that's maybe I just create my own.
It's like jump shooting a bunny rabbit, bro. Sometimes you go at the right time and you're there, and you see a bush moving, and it's like
seize the opportunity, man.
Yeah. So sometimes it's hard. You don't know what you're going to get, and so everybody at every stage in their life, I think when things change.
Yeah.
And you have to re-identify the purpose because when my kids, I got one getting married, one's out of the house, and my purpose is still fundamentally the same, right? Yeah. I'm their support system. I'm their rock. I'm their father. I'm their dad. I'm a husband, all those things. But there's a little bit of a change in regards to physically showing up and emotionally showing up, right? You still have to do both, but they're not walking through that front door.
Yeah, the shooter's the same. The target's a little different, right? The target moved.
Yeah, it's a little smaller. But then all of a sudden you got some other ones that are a little bit bigger, right?
Yeah.
So you still got to put powder in and put fire in the hole, but it is a moving target, so you really do have to update your purpose. Even when you do have one, update it, build on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had said something at the very beginning here when you were talking about working on the tractor and the excavator and then looking back and seeing what you accomplished throughout the day. And the word that stood out to me, Kit, was the word results, right? I think we need to take the time in our own life to look back or acknowledge the results of our work, right? And this is one of the things that brings fulfillment is setting goals, right? Big or small, and achieving them, right? Achieving those goals, make them measurable, right? So that you do have results that you can see or have an outcome, right? Like our desired outcomes. We talk about this all the time, and it may be a pass-fail type thing, or maybe it's, it's a sliding scale type deal where, 75%, that's, not terrible depending on how big it is, but, something that you can look back and measure and say, I accomplished that, I did that. And there is definitely fulfillment when you do those things. And the other important thing here is, it kind of goes both ways. When you set your goals and you accomplish things for yourself, you know that you're improving. Yeah. Individually, you're improving. But the other big thing about fulfillment, and I've found this in my own life because there's been times where I'm more self-centered than others, where I just focus on myself, and there's times where that's necessary. If you're a broken individual, you need to take time to fix yourself. Yeah. That is the most important thing that you could do, right? But when you get to a place where you're comfortable with who you are, and you're just doing a little better tomorrow than you are today, right? There's something about focusing on others and doing things for others, whether it's service or whatever it is that you decide to do. Go and work for a charity, or stop by a children's hospital once a month, or join. There was the boys club, right? The Big Brother program. I don't know, whatever you want to do, right? But help your neighbor move, or mow somebody's lawn, or take the old lady's garbage cans out. I mean, any one of these things, when you start doing things for other people, that brings a huge sense of fulfillment, right? Yeah. You have more of a purpose than just of yourself.
What you said is so important. It's so important that it's incorporated in any rehabilitation program. The 12 steps. Yeah, service is one of the 12 steps. Yeah. And, in an addict's life, there's a lot of self-centered, self-obsessed tendencies, right? Yeah. Yep. One of the healing properties and healing processes is to look outside yourself, and to focus on others. They can't explain it, but it brings unbelievable joy, right, to people. To be able to have that feeling to do something for someone else. You lifted them, you made their load a little bit lighter. Yep. It also lightens your load, and it makes you feel good. That is the definition of fulfillment, right? Yeah. So, in fact, there's a scripture of that too. I can't remember where it's at, but it goes something along the lines of, if you seek to live your own life, you'll lose it. But if you seek to live your life for others, you'll find yours. Yeah. Right? And it's so true. Yeah. You really find out who you are when you're in the service of others. Yeah, absolutely. And that could be, it doesn't have to be a neighbor. It could be those of most important and closest to us, because I think those that are closest to us, we take for granted the most. Oh, sure. Right? I know I do. And so it's like sometimes you just get in a routine and you're grinding it out, and someone wants waffles instead of pancakes or whatever, and you snap, right? You're not looking outward, you're looking inward going, bro, you're lucky to get mush. Now just eat it and go. Yeah, just eat what I made you, right? Yeah. Exactly. So I think that's a really important one, is looking outward, right? Anytime we're looking inward, we're our own worst critic too, right? We're looking inward, we're being selfish, but we're also being hard on ourselves at the same time. And if we're not, and we go out and be selfish or do something when we know we should be maybe doing something else, or even if you're not consciously thinking about it, you still know, your soul knows, hey, subconsciously you should be doing something else for someone else. It's how we're built. Yeah. There's a light in us, man, and then sometimes it goes off and sometimes it comes on. It certainly comes on when you're serving other people. Yeah. So it does. And I think there's another aspect too. I want to go back to, so we've talked good about serving other people, but I want to go back to this finding your purpose and channeling your passions, right? I think that there's something that we need to recognize about that, and that
maybe you don't have the job that you want or the career that you want and we can always change that. You can always change up what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But if you're in a spot at a given time where, and I've been there, where it doesn't make sense to change the job right now, but the job isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, there's aspects of the job that you can be happy with, right? There's things that you can find that can help you feel fulfilled, even if the overall picture there isn't as fulfilling as you'd hope it would be.
Yeah.
And then you put other things in your life that are fulfilling. Like, one of the biggest reasons that I'm so happy to be doing this podcast with you, Kit, is because I feel like this gives me a chance and an opportunity to share thoughts and feelings on something that I'm passionate about, which is mental health and just becoming a better person overall, right? And having this experience has improved my life, right? So just find something, even if it's not your job, find something, Neck Nation, that can channel your passions.
What's interesting about that is I think back when I was young and I got my first tractor. Bro, that's all I dreamed about. I mean, we were just married and I was telling the wife, man, that John Deere, it was just a yellow John Deere front end loader, right? And I said, I can't wait. I freaking can't wait, man. I'm going to make so much money with that. I mean, bro, I hadn't even bought it yet.
You had the plans.
And I was ready to put an application in for the parade. I'll drive my tractor in the parade. Like I was pretty proud of this tractor I was about to buy, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
So that's excitement, right?
Yeah.
That's something that you get excited about and you want it really bad. Well, what happened when I got that thing is it was super cool. I'm probably the only guy that still to this day waxes yellow iron, but I will. I'll put armor on the tires. But I haven't driven it in the parade. But what's interesting is I wanted it so bad, and you get it, and then you put it to work, and it wasn't a month and a half in, right? And my wife's like, hey, how's the tractor? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. She's like, what, you don't like it no more? You got a $70,000 tractor, you don't like it no more? I'm like, no, frick, dude, it's just a bouncy, dusty freaking, my kidneys are, I don't even like to drive it. I just tell my guys to drive it because that bouncy, uncomfortable bugger, dude, I'm done with that. Right?
You lost it, man.
But think about it.
Yeah.
Right? And so then, my son, he was excited. He got this job. One of my buddies called him up and said, hey, man, you can run heavy equipment. I've got a job for you. I want you to tear down these 2 barns. And they're big barns.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Bro, he was fired up.
Yeah.
Right? Getting paid every Friday. Got
tear something down, man.
Yeah. And he was saving a lot of the wood. And so it was just interesting, different, and fun. He was excited about it.
Yeah.
Running heavy equipment out on the ranch, this small town on his own. Dad's not there. I mean, I was there here and there, but because it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
And you've seen the pictures. I probably make it more dangerous, so I should stay home.
Hey, make it more fun. Right?
Yeah.
Dangerous makes it more fun. So
make it more memorable.
There you go.
But what's interesting is about 2.5 weeks into this month-long demo, he's like, I'm like, what's wrong, dude? I mean, he was, just had one of them. I'd talk to him, he wouldn't respond. I'm like, raw.
Yeah.
I'm talking to
you. Hey, man.
Yeah. And so he goes, I freaking hate this job. Like, I want this to be done.
What?
Right? And you do, you're so fast, man. And it's like, we got to pay attention to that.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
Yep.
Because we want something so bad, man. We're living today a prayer we prayed yesterday and asked for.
Yep.
Right? And
it's true.
And then we discount it. We take it for granted. We're like, frick, dude, yeah, but that that's come and gone. I already got this. Now I need that.
Yeah. Man, we gotta slow down a little bit. That's true, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about the target moves all the time, right?
We move it sometimes.
We move it. We do. And we don't take time to stop and appreciate it, right?
Yeah.
And that's so true. We're always looking for the next best thing. And I, to some degree, that'll drive competition, it'll drive success in some ways, but it also you lose your gratitude and you lose fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
When you hop from one thing to the next.
And you know what? That's part of the reward system in the brain, right? When you're jumping from one thing to the next, you're getting that dopamine dump, and you know what? You're on fire, and you're like, oh, I got the Midas touch, man. I am freaking Superman. Get out the way, right?
Yeah.
And it makes you feel good. But true fulfillment, right, is why are you doing all those things? Why are you jumping from this to that to dit, right? You gathering nuts, man, getting ready for the winter, what?
Yeah,
you
let's go down.
So, we really have to do some self-reflection evaluation. And I think for me anyways, life is so busy and so noisy. When you're driving to a job or driving to the farm or driving to you got your AirPods in, dude. You're answering the phone. If you're not answering the phone, you're listening to your best country music or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Your best podcast, something. There's always noise. We never shut off the noise. And it's in the quiet moments of the morning, man. Have you noticed that the mornings are just real quiet?
Oh, yeah.
That's why real necks get up early, bro.
Yeah. I get up. There's nobody else is up in the house. In fact, I'm up and I'm out of the house before anybody else wakes up most days.
Have you noticed when you walk across the wood floor how loud it is in the morning with your boots on?
Oh, yeah.
But in the afternoon,
you can't hear it.
Bro, you don't even hear it. Everybody tunes it out.
Yeah.
But you can hear a pin drop in the morning. And I love that because I don't turn my phone on purpose until I'm in the truck. And I'll be like, all right, let the noise happen.
Here we go.
And I think it's just that good to have that time. Even if you're half asleep, you still just being quiet, you receive and listen and hear things. And at least you just turn it off for a minute.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's healthy. So one of the other things I thought about, so we're talking about purpose and fulfillment. And our passions. And I think purpose is super important. And so we need to, if we don't think we have it nailed or identified, don't chase it. Don't go try to find it. Just create it.
Yeah.
What you know in your mind what you want out of life, right?
Yeah. And if you don't sit down and think about it, take those quiet times in the morning, right?
Yep.
And figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. And so the other thing is fulfillment is one of those things that it's layered with opportunities, right?
Yeah.
When life has a bunch of opportunities, and I've noticed, have you ever met those people when you ask them something, hey, do you want to go snow skiing or whatever, before you even say skiing or finish or say, do you want to go swimming in the pond or whatever?
Yeah. Before you get it out.
Before you get it all the way out, you're 3/4 there and they're like, no.
Yep. Dude.
Have you met those people?
Yep, I have. In fact, I can tell you right now, there's probably a few things that I do that on.
100%. I started making fun of somebody like that. I'm like, dude, are you a banker?
Yeah, right.
Because all you say is no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You should be a politician, just say yes, even though you don't even know what you said yes to.
Just say yes.
Frick. Let's go. But
yeah.
But I think sometimes we get in the habit too of just saying no. Like when someone calls and says, hey, Austin or kid, you guys want to take advantage of this opportunity to go on stage and do this or do that or talk on this podcast or be a guest here or there. Number one, fear or uncertainty or all these things creep in. And sometimes that's our little blankie.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
That's why my mom never gave me a blankie, I think. I was deprived. But you automatically are just like, well, I'll see.
Maybe. Let's see if our schedules line up, right?
Yeah. And then then there's the people or the thing, the subject that you just say, oh, yeah, no, I got COVID.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
But then you force somebody that says no all the time to go do it. And on the way home, whatever it is that you forced them to go do, they're like, freak, man, that was so fun.
That was great.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think we need to learn to say yes.
I love that.
Right?
Say yes to the opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, no is a powerful word, and we need to know how to say no. But what about yes, man? We can't leave him out there.
No.
On his own.
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
We can't leave yes out there.
Yeah, I mean, we need to say yes more because those opportunities, even if it's an absolute, like, miserable situation where you're like, frick, why did I say yes? And we've all done that too.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The dude's right there. He didn't call you. He didn't text you. He knocked on the door.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you say? Yes, I'll speak to them.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Yep. I'll talk on Sunday.
I'll talk.
Yeah.
But text, no, bro.
Man, I can think of one. I'll share an experience here. I'll share a story. And this is one back when I was, I had to be 18 or 19 years old. And my buddy had this thing. I can't remember what it was called, but it was an Australian Army vehicle, right? And it had all kinds of lockers. It had front lockers, rear lockers, and then you could lock all four tires together, right? It was a military vehicle. It had a little 4-cylinder. And he's like, hey, let's go take this thing out at night, right? And my first thought was, if my dad was here, he would tell me to say no, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, kind of don't want to go out at night. You know, what if something happens? All the what ifs come into your mind. And then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's go do it. Let's go do it. Now, it didn't turn out too well. We went 40 miles away from the house to get out into the mountains where we were going to go take this thing. And it was called a pin scour. That's what it was, a pin scour. And we got down in this ravine, and it only had like a little 4-cylinder, man. And the clutch like started burning out of this thing bad. And we were down in this ravine, and we had to come back up and out. And so all of us had to hop out of the pin scour. There was 5 of us in there. 4 of us hopped out. It was just my buddy in there driving. The rest of us are like, all right, we got one chance to get this thing out of here. And we pushed that thing, and it barely made it up to the top of the hill. And this ended up being like a 3-hour ordeal, man. I didn't get home till like 4:30 in the morning. And it was one of those things where, you know, Dad was like, well, what the heck happened? And I'm like, well, you know, I thought no, and I said yes, but let me tell you about the experience that we had, right?
Right.
And I'm glad I did it, man,
Yeah.
because it created this story and this memory for me of this thing. So, yeah, let's say yes more.
Yeah. Yeah. Every once in a while, I mean, even if you're right, even if it turns out, you know, maybe challenging or not so well, or you're sloughing school and you tip the Jeep over on the way out of the sand pit or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Even if it doesn't turn out well, you know what? You learn from it and you're living life, man.
Yeah.
If you're living life and you get some bumps and bruises, you're doing awesome.
Yeah.
Be proud of those scars. Be proud of those wounds. They're badges of honor as long as you learn from them and you know, characterize them and make sure they're part of your character and part of who you are and make them a building block instead of a stumbling block. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Those
absolutely.
aren't failures, man. Those are experiences.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Live your life. That's a perfect way to find fulfillment, right? Some of us clam up and we decide not to do things like, you know, we just talked about saying yes, but, you know, to its fullest, right?
Yeah.
Live life to its fullest, and guaranteed you'll find some fulfillment.
Oh, guaranteed. And you know what? I go full throttle everywhere I go, and it's like sometimes I just want to rest, and it's like I don't know how. And, And I
no, you don't.
no. And it's like, but the one thing I can say is that, okay, am I tired? Yeah, I'm tired. But if someone walks in the door and is like, dude, let's go. Okay, let's go.
Let's do it.
Right?
Yeah.
And just today, I mean, I put my son in the bucket. You saw the picture I showed you. I mean, he's a big kid, and he fit inside the bucket.
Inside the bucket. It's a good-sized bucket, man.
It's huge. It's a 326F cat excavator. It's good size. And I said, son, jump in that bucket, grab that rope, and take you up to the second floor. He's like, is this safe? I said, no, but let's do it.
No, it's fun.
Right? But you know what's cool is he trusts Dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was it a little Western? Yeah, it was a little Western. But we got lots of things like that. And you know what? They kind of just make you who you are. And
they do.
That doesn't mean you have to be dumb like me. You just have to, it's okay if something doesn't turn out just right.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
If the tree you're cutting down doesn't fall the way you want it to fall, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Next.
Yeah.
So I think that's really good for fulfillment. The other thing that comes to mind is time. Being disciplined and paying attention to time, because time levels the playing field, right?
It does, yeah.
Elon Musk has the same time as we do.
Yep.
Right?
He does.
So how we use our time, whom we use our time with, is going to be a real good makeup of that circle of our fulfillment in life. Because we only have so much time and no one knows how much time we have. But if you use that time wisely and you weren't just zoning out, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever, it's okay to make bad decisions, right? Sometimes you go down the wrong road to figure out, oh, this is the wrong road.
Yeah.
And if you just would have went down the right road the first time, you would have been second guessing yourself, going, dude, am I on the right road?
Am I on the right one?
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not promoting going down the wrong road. But you know what? It's worked for me here and there.
Yeah.
Because I knew dang well when I was on the right road, hey, this is the right road.
This
because
is
I
the right one.
I already motored down the wrong road.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely.
So I think that's just part of living, man. Embrace it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Live it.
Absolutely.
So, but time is a big deal. There's a scientist that did a study about regret, and they did a poll, right, for older people, and they were between 60 and 82. And they talked about their biggest regrets, and one of them was time with family, etc. And it had to do with time. But regret is one of those things when you get to those golden years and when you start living the second half of your life, you don't want to repurpose regret, right?
No.
You want to change it.
Yeah.
So in the next 50, right, there's a lot of things I'm going to do different.
Yeah.
So I was reading this study in this poll, and part of fulfillment, number one was being disciplined on time. Because
Makes sense.
they're not making any more of it.
No.
Right?
They're running out of it.
So, and we only have, the clock doesn't stop even when we do.
Right.
So I think we're going to feel fulfilled when we use our time wisely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because when you're doing something that has purpose or is purpose-based or is productive.
Absolutely.
Quite frankly. Whether it's productive for us personally or productive for those around us, productivity is all in a timeline.
Yep.
Right? So it's important. The other thing was chasing your dreams. I don't care who they are. I don't care what level of life you're at. I don't care what nationality you are. Everybody has a dream, man.
Yeah, we
right?
do. Or multiple dreams, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Go after them. Don't be afraid to go after them, because that was one of the biggest regrets after time with family.
Yeah.
Was I had this and I was really good at it and I really had it figured out, whatever it was, whether it was a hobby or whatever. And I really wanted to do this with this hobby or this passion of mine or this purpose that I really became fond of and it's something that I enjoyed doing or something that I was good at, and I didn't pursue it. Right? So
Dang.
I think identifying our talents and building our talents, put that in a basket of chase our dreams. You know what? If you got a dream to do something, send it.
Yeah.
Do it.
That's the important thing right there. First of all, don't discourage yourself from following your dreams, and don't let anybody else discourage you. Right? I think there's a comedian, I can't remember who it is, but he was talking about one of the thing that he hates more than anything else in the world is individuals who shut down other people's dreams. He says, I don't care how crazy or stupid your dream is. I don't care if your dream is to color in a coloring, like you can color in a coloring book if that's your dream, right? I'm not going to tell you that's stupid. Go do it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I don't care if your dream is to run across the United States like old Forrest Gump, right? As dumb as I may think that is, doesn't matter. Go do it. Right?
Yeah, but fanny packs came back too, bro.
Fanny packs came back, dude.
Every dog has its day, and then guess what? You're going to have another day.
There you go.
Just wait a minute. And so, yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter what your dream is. It doesn't matter what people think. I always tell my kids, they'll come home and they'll be sad because, I told so-and-so I was excited about doing this or this, and they shot it down or whatever. They wanted to start a detailing business, and so-and-so said that's not good because of da-da-da-da-da. And I said, son, tell a big idea to a small-minded person and tell me how that's going to work out.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
You don't need their opinion.
No.
Right?
If
you want to do
dream,
it? Yeah. Send it.
do it.
Go do your dream or get hired to build somebody else's.
That's
right?
what it is, yeah.
So, and that doesn't just mean you chasing your dream. You have to go out and do something on your own. It just means you have to push yourself. Get out of your comfort zone, man.
Yeah.
And part of fulfillment is learning.
Oh, big time.
Never stop learning.
Yep.
Right? That doesn't mean you're writing essays and giving yourself homework. It just means you're taking your time, using it wisely.
Yep.
Find something you're passionate about and that is going to build your purpose foundation, right?
Yeah.
And study it. Doesn't even matter if you'll ever use it.
Yeah. And there is no excuse today to say that you don't have the opportunity to learn something new. I mean, we've got, I can't even tell you, I've got YouTube universities on just about everything I do nowadays. Like, I know how to take care of my lawn because of YouTube University. I know what fertilizer to use. I know how to get rid of the morning glory. I know how to make this thing green up. YouTube, right? I know how to fix things on my car. YouTube. I know how to fix my water heater and do all this stuff. YouTube, or Google, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The ability to learn something new is at your fingertips.
It is. And you know what? I'm going to say this, and I was telling my wife this. There's an abundance of information out there, yet all of us are starving for knowledge.
Yeah.
Think about it. We're thirsty for knowledge, right? I don't care
are.
who you are. Everybody within the sound of my voice is thirsty for knowledge, but we're drowning in information. So where's the disconnect?
Yeah. Where is it?
It's go to the Google box and do what you said.
It's budgeting your time. Take the time to do it. It'll be fulfilling.
Yeah, make time. Even if it's dual time, you're driving to work.
Yeah.
Plug and play, man.
Put something on.
Yep.
Right? Listen to a self-help book. Listen to the NECKROOTS podcast.
Frick, dude. Get some fire on the wire.
Yeah, dude. Light it up.
Right? So, along that point, though, as I took you know me, I park in the same spot everywhere I go, and I do things the same way. If it's working, dude,
creature of habit, man. I'm same way.
I'm loyal to a fault, man.
Yeah.
If I'm going to get my oil changed in one place, guess what? I'm going to burn that place down, bro. I'm going to get changed there every time, right?
Yeah.
So, because I know everybody. I walk in there, dude, they put me ahead of everybody else. Pisses everybody off, but whatever.
Yeah.
Right? It's relationships, man. It's just
big time.
It's a scratch your back world, and people know when you care about them, and it's just awesome. That's why relationships are just so beneficial and cool. Right?
Yeah.
I don't like to be a number when I go somewhere.
Well, and there's fulfillment in that, right? There's fulfillment in relationships and developing good ones, right? Yeah. Bad relationships, get them out of your life because that'll drain your fulfillment.
Yep.
But the good ones, develop them, make them, go find them.
Yep. Say yes.
Say yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Don't do what Kit James does. I got COVID. But I go in there and I said, hey, man, I need my oil changed. And he's like, all right, you going to wait for it? And I said, no. Well, I came back a little bit early. My son dropped me off, and I said, hey, I went to the manager and said, hey, bro, that guy out there changing the oil on my diesel is on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought you should know, right?
Yeah, sure.
And he just starts laughing. He goes, yeah, we just hired him, bro. He's a good kid. And I go, well, don't you have a phone, Paul? Just get off your phone and get my freaking oil changed.
Get my truck done.
Oh, no, dude, he's never changed oil. All these kids learn how to do stuff from YouTube. And I was like, oh, bro, I bolted through the door.
Here, dude. Give me my truck back, dude.
I went through the door, and I was like, how you doing, Junior? What are you learning? Right?
Yeah.
It made me a little nervous. But what's interesting, what you just said is, you can learn it on YouTube. Bro, there's people graduating. They don't have a mechanics degree. They're like, change your oil? Sure. Right?
Yeah. Change your brakes, rotate your tires.
They're going to figure it out.
Rebuild your engine.
Right? They're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew that he was YouTubing how to change the oil in the 450.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, that freaked me out, but I thought about it later. I'm like...
Well, at least he took the time to make sure he was doing it right.
That takes hair on the peaches, though, to go
there
sign up.
Go. Yeah,
it does.
To be vulnerable like that.
Yeah.
Right? For sure. To admit when you don't know something, so you go find it and you're doing that in front of others. Yeah. Good on you, man. Good on you.
So today's quote goes along with fulfillment. I wrote it down, man.
All right, let's hear it.
It's kind of a good one. It's so he that is discontent in one place will seldom find happiness or fulfillment in another place.
Man.
So
doesn't that tell you a lot, right? Doesn't that just say that if one aspect of your life is dragging you down, that it just has the ability to root itself into everything else you're doing?
And there's something so important about that, because I was telling you that story about my son, excited about the barns, and then at the end, he's 3 weeks into it, he's like, frick, dude, I'm about done with this Groundhog Day.
Yeah, right.
I'm getting stung by wasps. Bats are attacking me in these old barns. I'm taking down their building. I'm sweaty. I'm hot. I'm by myself. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
He was racing to the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And we all do it. I'm not bagging on him, but I didn't say a whole lot. And then he said something later, and I said, son, you want to know what the measure of a man is? He said, what? I said, the man that'll do something that he doesn't really enjoy, but he'll do it to feed his family.
Yeah.
I said, man up.
Yeah.
Find joy in it, bro, because
figure out a
that
way to make it
simple
work.
Thing right there, if it provides a living for your family, it's doing its job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Old Joe Dirt. Life's a garden. Dig it. Make it work for you.
Dig it. I dig it.
Dig it.
I dig it. That's good.
Awesome. Well, that's a good message for our folks today, Kit. So, want to leave them with that?
Yeah.
Let's leave them with that. All right, Neck Nation. So let's get out there. Let's live our lives. Let's find something that we can be passionate about. Let's channel that. Let's do it. Right? Let's do whatever we have to do to bring fulfillment into our lives and be a little better tomorrow than we are today. So we'll leave you with that. Be sure to check us out on the social media, on YouTube. Make sure you like and share this video. If you can like it and share it in other places, please do so. We're trying to reach as many people as we can. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We've got a few videos there. And then also make sure you visit neckroots.com and get yourself a sweet lid and a sweet t-shirt. But we'll leave you with that. Peace out. Bless up, Neck Nation.
Bless up.